benefits jumped last week.
Applications for jobless aid rose 22,000, hitting 231,000 from the previous week. It is significantly more than the 211,000 new applications that analysts had been expecting. But applications remain in the same historically low range of recent years. Rich Thomason, Washington.
OpenAI and Anthropic, the startups behind ChatGPT and Claude, are gearing up for a major showdown. The rivalry all began when OpenAI leaders left to form Anthropic back in 2021. Now both need to prove that they can turn a profit. They also face growing competition from Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. Tech losses took a toll on Wall Street today. The S&P 500 fell 1.2% for its sixth loss in the past 7 days. For the Wall Street Business Report, I'm Bob Agnew.
News and analysis at townhall.com.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Clearing skies overnight. We'll have a low temperature, chilly 28 degrees. Tomorrow, wonderful. Mostly sunshine-filled skies. High temperature reaching 57. Now for the weekend, very, very nice. Clear skies, sunshine to go with highs in the low to mid-50s. And next week looks wonderful. A return to the mid-60s and more sunshine. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com. The Point.
This is Sports Talk with Phil Kornblut and Chris Bergen. Sports Talk is heard across the state on radio affiliates of the Sports Talk Media Network and is streaming live on SportsTalkSC.com, as well as Twitter, Facebook, and YouTube. The South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number to call in is 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now, here are Phil and Chris with tonight's edition of Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody, and good to have you with us on this big Thursday night edition of Sports Talk here on the Sports Talk Media Network. Hope everybody's doing well. A little chilly out there today. But you know what? We are 8 days away from opening day for D1 baseball. Other leagues have already started, D2 and junior college and the like. Division I, the big boys, they'll crank it up a week from tomorrow. We were over at South Carolina this afternoon. Paul Maneri did a little media update on his players and on his starting rotation. We'll hear from him, but I'll just tell you in the nutshell, the news from an injury standpoint. Of course, you know McCoy is out for the season. That's nothing new. In fact, it was the New York Yankees doctor who did the surgery. So he should come back good as gold. I mean, that arm should be like worth a couple of $1 million once he's healthy. That's 14.
No, that would be if the Dodgers surgeon did the surgery.
That's true. 14 to 15 months, however, so he won't obviously be around this year. He may never pitch for the Gamecocks again because who knows, he might make a decision to go on to the pros once he gets healthy. But he is the surgery went well, and he started his rehab. As far as the concerns about Philpott, not Roy Philpott, but Alex Philpott, the news there is good. His arm situation not serious at all. He's going to be shut down for a couple of weeks. Then he'll go on a throwing rehab assignment, I guess you could say, for about 2 or 3 weeks, and then they hope to have him ready to go within a month, if not sooner. So that's good news. Scobie's shoulder popped out and popped right back in when he made a dive for a ball the other day. So that's not a bad deal. He can't swing a bat real well right now. He hasn't taken any swings, but they expect him to be ready for opening day. Bo Hollins does remain out. He hasn't taken a cut in practice yet, and so he's got a little ways to go. He's dealing with a shoulder as well. So he remains on the sideline from that standpoint. Starting rotation for the Gamecocks will be Goodman next Friday, Riley Goodman, who they really like. He's had arm surgery before, but he's fully healthy, and He's bringing it. Amp Phillips is going to be the number 2 starter, and Brandon Stone, the number 3 starter for the Gamecocks as things start off the season for them. So we'll let you hear a little bit more from Mainieri coming up. We got a jam-packed show for you tonight here in our studios in Columbia with the plumber, and, of course, in the Berge Palace, Chris Bergen joining us as well. Coming up at 6:35, it'll be Mike Morgan, the thoughts of Mike Morgan, Morgan on the Move. 7:05, Hardcore Hardwood with Coach Ken Potosnak. Lots to talk about in the basketball world. At 7:35, Keel McGriff, one of the new signees for Clemson football. I find him to be a very interesting story because of his situation and because of his background, his family's background. His dad and his grandfather, both stars at the University of Florida, and his dad went on to play in the NFL. So looking forward to talking to him, and we'll hear from Brad Brownell off that really good win for Clemson last night at Stanford. More on that in just a second, and I mentioned Paul Mainieri as well. So we got a jam-packed show for you. Sit back, relax, throw another log on the fire. Did you throw another log on the fire, Bergie?
We do not have a fireplace. It's one of the more disappointing aspects of the Berge Palace. No fireplace. We did a couple of years ago buy one of those indoor fire pits, if you will, the little small ones, tabletops that you've seen advertised ad nauseum during the holiday season. They actually work really well. I'd highly recommend them, but we do have that, but that's as close to a fireplace as we can possibly get here.
You know, for a guy who dreams about a winter wonderland, and I mean, I would expect that your house would be like a ski lodge, that you'd have a place to have the fire logs going and some cognac over in the corner of the room, and you and the missus sort of, warm up in front of the fire and that kind of stuff.
He must have good insulation.
And that's my dream now. Keep in mind, I'm married to a girl who grew up in Florida.
He must have what?
So,
I said he must have good insulation in his home.
We do have that.
Yeah. Excellent. Well, it's cold out there today. I mean, this is as cold as it was when it was snowing. I don't know where this came from, but I was looking at my paid-for weather app, looking ahead to not so much the start of the baseball season. I was looking ahead to the South Carolina Clemson weekend series, which begins.
I thought you were going to say football game.
No.
Yeah, what's the weather going to be like in Death Valley in late November?
The most I can give you is 45 days in advance with any kind of accuracy, as you know. My weather app is never wrong. So on Friday, February 27th, the first game of the series, high of 61, a shower and thunderstorm. And then on Saturday, high of 64, sunny to partly cloudy. And on Sunday, high of 59, mostly sunny. So make your plans accordingly. As for next weekend, let's take a look at next weekend.
Write that down, please.
What was it?
Go ahead and write this down.
I'll
so
remind
we can
you.
Double check back.
So next weekend, when the season begins, that will be on Feb 11. We're talking about 61 degrees on that day. Saturday, we're talking about 63 degrees with a chance of afternoon rain. And on Sunday, 65 degrees. So it looks good. That's for the Midlands area now. That's for the Columbia area. So right now it says it's 37 degrees here in Columbia, but in our studio it's a very pleasant 73 degrees here at the Point. And tell a friend, 73 degrees. So we told you what Paul Mainieri had to say. We'll get to more of him in just a little bit. Clemson basketball last night, Bergie. And by the way, I know you were busy with Coastal Carolina. We'll talk about that in a second. Tough loss. Had the lead, couldn't hold it. Had the lead, couldn't hold it. Must be something about the name Carolina about having a lead and can't hold it. But Clemson last night in a real dogfight with Stanford, and back and forth. Neither team could put the other one away. And Clemson with their defense, as you'll hear coming up later on tonight when we talk more basketball with Coach Potosnak, defense travels. That's the one thing that travels, defense. And with Brad Brownell, when he's got a team, when he's got a group of guys that has bought in defensively, that really makes his teams good. And what impresses you about this Clemson team is the way they share the basketball. I mean, I'd like to know the average of number of touches they have per offensive possession when they get in the half court. I mean, the ball moves. They give up a good 3-point look for a better even 2-point look. But they move the basketball. They share it. They had 10 guys play last night. 9 of them scored. And both teams couldn't score over the last roughly 2.5 minutes. They both went ice cold from the floor and the foul line. There were no buckets scored down the stretch. And then, Clemson had a couple of free throws. Ace Buckner hit a couple of big free throws. He had a big layup a couple of minutes prior. So that's a heck of a win. It was almost a Q1 because Stanford was 77. No, I take that back. That was it. Was that a Q1? Because a top 50 win on the road is Q1, correct?
That's a great question. I can't remember how they divvy that up.
Let me double check on that. Let me double check what Stanford's RPI was.
I can give you an idea, though, just about how deliberate Clemson is. And I think this is a really good stat considering how good they have been, especially on the road. It's remarkable. 13 consecutive now ACC road wins. That's as impressive as any stat they've put together. But they rank 322nd nationally in terms of possessions per game. They have about 68 possessions in their game. So if you make a mistake against them, that's already cost you basically about a minute off the clock. And as good as they are on defense, I mean, they just grind you down, Phil. I mean, you look at what they had 46 shots last night in their game. They went 21 of 46. Stanford had to throw up 60 shots and couldn't beat them. Stanford had 14 more shots and 11 more three-pointers attempts and could not beat them because Clemson takes such good care of the basketball for the most part. And they are so deliberate in what they do. It's fun to watch. They are as old school basketball as you could possibly imagine. They are the antithesis of, say, like an Alabama team or a team that I saw last night, Arkansas State, that was averaging 82 points a ball game that just wants to get it off the glass and go. Clemson will get it off the backboard, but then they want to be very deliberate in what they do, and it's an impressive thing. And you're right about sharing the basketball. And he can play so many people. It's a really, really good team, and I think this is a Clemson team that people need to start paying attention to.
No question.
Because they're built to win in March.
Well, they can shoot it. They can play defense. They do not turn the ball over ordinarily. And I was right, 75. If you beat a team that's 75 or better on the road, that's a Q1. And Stanford 77. So they just missed getting a Q1 win there. Now, Stanford down the road moves up and gets into the top 75. Then that's going to count for you as a Q1 win. So as a Q2 win for Clemson at the very least. Still for them, all they care about is a W. You mentioned the winning streak in the ACC away from home, and that's 19 wins overall. So they're about to hit the 20-win mark once again. Keeps them a game behind Duke in the ACC standings. And then they get ready to play a good California team. California's a good team as well, and they're going to play them. Now that's a team, the Golden Bears, they have a 55 net. Clemson's net is still 31. Even after that win last night, they stay at 31 today. California right now is at 55. So go get that win. That'll count as a Q1 win for the Tigers. So good performance. We'll hear from Brad Brownell a little bit later on.
And you know what's funny? Duke and North Carolina, of course, play this weekend. And Duke fans will tell you, North Carolina fans will tell you that's the most important game on their schedule twice a year. From a Duke perspective, they'll never admit this, but next weekend's game is more important when they host Clemson on Valentine's Day. That may be the biggest game of the ACC this year.
If Clemson continues and can take care of business. I mean, they've got Cal on Saturday out there, and then they deserve a little bit of a break. Of course, they had a week off before they went out there. After they play at Cal, they come home and they will play Virginia Tech, which is, at home. But then they go back on the road for 2 games at Duke and at Wake Forest. If they somehow manage to skate through unscathed, they finish up with 3 home games in their last 4, Florida State, Louisville, and Georgia Tech, with a road trip to North Carolina. So they got a chance to have a very, very special season. Yet
historic.
Yet, right now they're being seeded like number 7 in the bracketology. A 7th seed, they're better than a 7th seed.
I don't get that. Yeah,
I
would agree.
I don't know what these people are watching, but if you watch Clemson basketball, maybe you're just not enthralled by the scores and the style, but the results speak for themselves.
You know what impresses me, Phil? 19 wins.
Yeah. And only
That's all that should matter.
And only 4 losses. And all their losses, let's see, they lost by 5 to Georgetown early in the year, lost by 6 at Alabama, lost by 3 in a game that they were winning big against BYU, and lost in overtime to NC State. Every one of their losses has just been by a hair. Okay, we'll hit the break. Be back in just a moment.
Too tough to tame? Try too rough to ride. Nothing about this place lets you sit back. It rips up your tires and tears at your heart. Let's go! History, glory, consequences. That's Darlington, where stripes are well earned. The Goodyear 400, NASCAR's best, face the lady in black. And this spring, how about that? She'll leave her mark. Hell yeah, boys! NASCAR weekend at Darlington Raceway, March 20th through the 22nd. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
Hi, I'm attorney Jim Corbett. For over 35 years, I've been handling claims and cases for individuals and small businesses. I've now been a mediator for more than 10 years. Let me put that experience to work for you. Like if you're injured in a wreck or on the job or at someone else's place, anytime you should get reimbursed or compensated. Jim Corbett, 803-765-2968 or jim@jimcorbettattorney.com. Corbett with an E, and the initial consultation is free. Jim Corbett to settle your claims, avoid a lawsuit, or go to trial.
Traveling can be the worst, especially when you can't find your favorite show. Well, don't worry. We've got the perfect way to keep up with everything happening in the Palmetto State when you're away from home. Just pull up the Chief Sports app on your mobile device, and you can listen live to Sports Talk.
All right, welcome in, everybody. Sports Talk Media Network.
So the next time you can't find us on one of our great radio affiliates, just log on to the Chief Sports app, the best way to stay connected with the Sports Talk Media Network.
Make your plans now to get to the coast for the Palmetto State's premier baseball showcase. The Classic, March 5th through 8th at Mike Johnson Park in Georgetown. Now in its 36th year, the Classic features the best high school players and teams from across South Carolina. Don't miss your chance to see the state's top Major League Baseball prospects and title contenders at the Classic. Presented by Coastal Chevrolet Cadillac Nissan. There will be games and contests, including a home run derby throughout the weekend. Visit theclassicgtown.com for tickets and more information. The Classic, showcasing South Carolina's finest in high school baseball, March 5th through the 8th in the state's best ballpark, Mike Johnson Park in Georgetown.
Play ball! There's a lot of things we take for granted in our lives. Your home's AC will run cool. Your drive-through coffee will be hot. And the car will start when it's time to take your kids to school. It's when things don't go as planned that you start thinking about who to call and where to turn. The good thing is, you can prepare for life's most difficult days by calling the Larry Lucas Agency today. Larry is a State Farm agent that has been taking care of people across South Carolina for more than 2 decades. You probably have insurance, but switching is easy, and bundling can save you hundreds or more. Most importantly, the Larry Lucas Agency can help you choose the protection you want at the price you want. All backed by South Carolina's #1 home and auto insurance company. Visit LarryLucasAgency.com today or give Larry a call at 803-799-1998. Like a good neighbor, Larry Lucas State Farm is there.
She said, give me 6 packs of Brooks and Dunn. If you want a country girl, you just found one. Let's slip away. Yeah.
All right, South Carolina women tonight taking on Mississippi State, the CLA. McKeer is out, and Ladson is out once again for South Carolina. Clemson women playing North Carolina tonight. They're down 13-12 after 1 quarter. Keep you up to date on that. Got a lot more coming up. Mike Morgan on the move after the bottom of the hour break, and a whole bunch more to come your way. A lot of recruiting as well. South Carolina did miss on that offensive lineman out of Kentucky, Brady Hull. He did commit to Kentucky this afternoon, so that's tough loss for South Carolina. They put a lot of work into him. We always like to welcome to the program people that make this show available and free of charge to those of you all across the state listening to us over one of our great radio stations, or also listening to us on one of our multimedia streams. And let's welcome into the program Larry Lucas from Larry Lucas Insurance here in Columbia as well as over in Lexington. We thank Larry for being with us. He sponsors our poll question of the week, which has to do with the Gamecock baseball this year. How many games will the Gamecocks win this season? Right now, 51% say between 30 and 35, Larry. I know you're a big baseball fan. I know you want the Gamecocks to do better than that.
Yeah, I'll have to say I picked 33, just going for the low hanging fruit there. But I'd sure like to see him come away with a lot more than that.
Well, talking with Coach Maneri today, and it was pointed out to him that they're picked 15th in the SEC coaches poll, and he's like, "Well, that's fine. That's off of last year." He said, "These coaches don't know our team. They haven't seen our team." He says, "I know we're better than that." So we shall see. We shall see. But we appreciate you being with us. I imagine for the insurance industry around here and in other parts of the country where this winter storm has blown through, it's been pretty busy in the office.
It has, Phil. Lots of people impacted by it, but I'll tell you, it was we really dodged a bullet to some degree. A lot of the storm that we saw previous years from ice and snow and wind and rain, we didn't have nearly the amount of claims that we had. So I think we were blessed to some degree that it came in a little softer than it could have, and it went out pretty quick when the sun came up.
Do you find most of the claims after a storm like that are automobile or more on the home side?
Yeah, this year we saw a little bit of both. Some of the frozen pipes where people were not really prepared or didn't take precautions. But yes, people were out on the road when I think they weren't really prepared for some of the ice that remained even after the sun came up. So that was where we saw most of the accidents. But for the most part, not a lot of major claims. We did have some fires. To remind people as it stays cold around the area, if you've got space heaters, please be careful with how you use them, where you put them, what's close to them. We did have some, in my practice, we had some fires, and I tell you, it's really a devastating thing to see a family have a fire in their home.
Oh, no question about it. What about when it comes to things like roof damage from the ice and snow and maybe the roof caves in or something like that? Do you get many claims like that? Is that something that falls under the insurance coverage?
Phil, most of the roof damage that we have in the Carolinas is up in the upstate, where we have what's called ice damming, where the ice will back up under the shingles and cause damage under the shingles. But in our area, we didn't have a lot of that, and the building codes in our area are pretty good. We don't have many roofs that cave in. We have some of the much older homes that haven't been maintained very well, or shed roofs and things like that will collapse under the weight of ice or snow. But we really didn't have enough of that to really be a problem, so we were very, very lucky.
Well, since you mentioned that, I saw video. This isn't in our state, but along the coast of North Carolina, I saw where there's an area there. I'm trying to think of the area up around Wilmington, the Outer Banks there, and like houses are just falling into the ocean. I don't know if you've seen that, but I imagine that the insurance people have their hands off of situations like that where these houses are collapsing into the ocean.
Yeah, the typical homeowner's policy doesn't really cover a lot of those things. Some of those coastal homes where you see those things happening, some of those houses are not even insured, Phil, if you can even believe that. So a lot of people take a lot of risk on the coast, but most insurance carriers are pretty particular about being able to write insurance on the coast. We're lucky here in South Carolina. We can still write a lot of business on the coast, and of course there's a lot of criteria that's required when you have a home on the coast. The building codes are different down there, but we try to insure everyone. My office, we insure North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia, so we see a lot of that exposure.
Awesome.
Larry, quickly, I wanted to get your take on the Super Bowl ad that State Farm Corporate is going to be running. Are you concerned that you may be losing several of your clients over to halfway their insurance after Sunday?
Well, I'm not sure about that. I've seen the ad a few times, and we've seen some of the launch things for the Super Bowl ads, and I think that a lot of people are going to find a lot of humor in that. It's clearly supposed to be a humorous ad, so we're hoping that that hits the right market.
Well, I was going to ask you, are you guys able to track it locally? Do you see a bump when State Farm National does Super Bowl advertising for you guys?
Well, it does. We do see a little bit of that. We see a lot of activity on our social media sites. We have a lot of people with lead generation that comes in, and people that just have questions that want to get a quote. And they spend a lot of money on those ads, like most advertisers during that game. I think a lot of people see a lot more activity around it. And sometimes it lasts for several months, and sometimes it drops off a lot quicker. But we try to do all of our local advertising in some kind of synergy with that. But to be honest with you, I enjoy doing a lot of the local advertising, talking with people like you and people in the community. That's really the crux of most of our business. We're a local office, even though we do business around the state. We focus a lot of our efforts here in the community, and a lot of the things that I do to give back to the community are local.
Absolutely. And give those numbers for your Columbia office and your new office over in Lexington.
Well, thanks for mentioning that. Yes, we have 2 office locations now in South Carolina, one in Lexington, South Carolina. The phone number there is 803-359-0770, and the Columbia office, 803-799-1998. But LarryLucas.com or LarryLucasAgency.com. Either one will get you right over to us.
Larry, we appreciate you, man. Thanks for joining us tonight. Stay warm out there and enjoy some baseball. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you. Go Cox.
There you go, Larry Lucas.
Halfway there insurance.
He's my man. We appreciate him. We'll be back in just a moment.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Clearing skies overnight. We'll have a low temperature, chilly 28 degrees. Tomorrow, wonderful. Mostly sunshine-filled skies. A high temperature reaching 57. Now for the weekend, very, very nice. Clear skies, sunshine to go with highs in the low to mid-50s. And next week looks wonderful. A return to the mid-60s and more sunshine. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
When your temperatures swing, your comfort shouldn't. At Sweet Comfort Services, we make sure your system's ready for anything. Get our $99 preventative maintenance, a full inspection and tune-up that keeps your equipment efficient, reliable, and safe. Thinking it's time for an upgrade? We offer estimates on new Goodman and American Standard systems. You'll get honest advice, fair pricing, and expert installation. No gimmicks, no surprises. Call 803-331-8143 or visit sweetcomfortservices.com to schedule today.
Enforcement. With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The U.S. and Russia have agreed to reestablish high-level military-to-military dialogue for the first time in more than 4 years. The step is another sign of warming relations between the two countries since President Trump took office and sought to end the war in Ukraine. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says Democrats' demands for new restrictions on federal immigration officers are unrealistic, and he's warning that the Department of Homeland Security will shut down next week if Democrats don't work with Republicans and the White House. Democrats are pressing for changes at U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 592 points, the Nasdaq dropped 363, the S&P lower by 84. This is SRN News.
Are you tired of that sinking feeling when the electric bill arrives? Does the phrase peak hours trigger anxiety and a headache? Do you suffer from chronic fatigue of watching your hard-earned money evaporate right into the power grid? You may be suffering from utility pain and anxiety disorder, or UPAD. Symptoms include sweating when running the AC, a fear of turning on lights, and a general feeling of powerlessness over your energy costs.
It's time for you to try Solarist from Ken at Broker Solar. Broker Solar isn't a temporary fix, but a lasting solution with cutting-edge solar technology designed to address high energy bills at their source. Many clients have experienced immediate relief from high monthly payments with reports of increased home value and greater financial freedom. Imagine a brighter future for your home and your wallet. Side effects include the freedom to use your appliances when you want and a powerful sense of energy independence. Broker Solar, a brighter outlook for your home and wallet. Call us now, 803-807-7417. That's 807-7417 or online at brokersolar.com.
At Palmetto State Armory, we offer the largest selection of guns and ammunition at unbeatable prices. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff are here to provide personalized assistance, ensuring you find exactly what you need. If you enjoy outdoor activities like hunting, camping, or hiking, our clothing and outdoor gear collection has got you covered. We also feature an exceptional indoor range facility where you can experience the thrill of shooting in a safe and controlled environment. Visit us today at PalmettoStateArmory.com or your local retail store. Palmetto State Armory, American made for life.
If you missed the home equity line of credit offer from Founders Federal Credit Union, we have good news. The offer has been extended, but don't wait. You only have until February 28th to get up to $750 toward closing costs when you open a Founders HELOC. That's more in your pocket for home improvements, debt consolidation, major purchases, unexpected expenses, or a much-needed vacation. The possibilities are endless. Imagine starting a new year with financial flexibility and peace of mind. But hurry, this special offer ends February 28th. Save more and jumpstart your year. Plus, you'll enjoy competitive rates and flexible terms designed to fit your budget. Visit foundersfcu.com/HELOC for more information. Membership qualification required. Institution NMLS. Identifier number 410646. Equal housing lender. See website for details.
This fall, discover a place where friendly faces greet you at the door. McCoy Hardware of Lexington, Greg Lynette, and their welcoming team make every visit a breeze with expert advice and genuine hometown care. No more endless aisles or big box blues, just quality products and people who want to know your name. For every project, big or small, find what you need and a neighborly smile at 2028 Augusta Highway. Shop local. Shop happy. McCoy Hardware of Lexington.
All right, before we get to Mike Morgan on the move, his penalty time made a mistake last night. You can go ahead and kill the siren. You have to bring it back up. Mistake last night. It's Matthew O., not Michael O., the long snapper signed by the Gamecocks. I was just going off the top of my head. Matthew O., not Michael O. And the baseball season begins. You've already done that. Do I have to produce?
2 errors. Phil.
Do I have to produce the producer?
2 errors.
And the baseball season is the 11th, not the. Did I say the 13th? I don't know if I said the 13th or not.
No, it's the 13th.
I'm sorry, it's the
11th.
13th. I'm not sure
Yes,
I said
correct.
the 11th or not, but a text message says it begins the 13th. Next Friday. I know what next Friday is.
Mm-hmm.
It's Friday the 13th.
Oh,
Correct.
that's scary.
It's the day before Man Guilt Day.
As
which
of right
is the
now,
14th.
Sports Talk owes $21 to a charity of its choosing.
That's it.
You know what's funny, Phil? As superstitious as the majority of baseball coaches are around the country, I'm stunned that they would want opening day to be on Friday the 13th.
They probably didn't even think about it. They probably have no clue about that. All right, so there you go. We find ourselves $1 with every factual error here on Sports Talk. A man who knows no such thing as a factual error because he's never made one is coming up next. It's Mike Morgan time here on Sports Talk. And Morgan on the Move is brought to you by Play It Again Sports out in the Harbison area of St. Andrews. I'm laughing because my computer has frozen, so I can't get to the copy. Just take my word for it. Play It Again Sports, the best sporting goods store in South Carolina. They've got all kinds of items for you to choose from, new and partially used. So go by Play It Again Sports and take care of all your sporting needs.
Comes in for the win. Good if it goes. Got it! He got it! Unreal!
Morgan on the Move, brought to you by JT's Kia in Columbia.
If you want the biggest bang for your buck, it's time to think about a new JT's Kia. We're serious about saving you money.
Uh-oh. Guess what day it is? Mike. What day is it, Mike? Leslie, guess what today is?
It's Mike Day.
Woo-hoo!
All right, let's welcome in Mike Morgan. Morgan on the Move here on Sports Talk. Welcome in, Mike. How are you?
I'm doing well, fellas. How are you doing?
We're doing fine. Doing fine. My computer froze on me there, so sorry couldn't get to the copy about Play It Again Sports, PIS. But
that's fun to watch you squirm. Actually,
yeah, I try to hold it together like Mike Tirico. I just try to remain calm and in the moment. Going to have a lot of Mike Tirico in our ears and face over the next 3 or 4 weeks.
Yeah, I got the Super Bowl.
Olympics.
Yeah, I don't watch the Winter Olympics, but if you do, he'll be on it.
Yes. Mike, would you like to have an Olympic assignment one day? Would you like to maybe call, let's say, Olympic curling?
I don't think I would be very good at that. Now, I do like me some track and field, and I did the Big 12 indoor and outdoor track and field for 4 straight years at Fox. And I actually really enjoyed that. Worked with Carl Lewis's sister, Carol Lewis.
Oh, yeah. She was a great athlete. I really believe
very good athlete.
If I were going to be an Olympian, I really believe curling would be my sport. I mean, how much of an athlete do you have to be? And just give me the little broom. I'll just do the broom. And
sure.
How hard is that?
Sweep.
I know. Hey, we've got flag football now. And I'm talking about the summer games, obviously. We've just glossed right over the winter games because we know virtually nothing about it unless it's hockey.
That's right.
But I'm excited about flag football. I like flag football.
Well, Mike, help me out here because I've been waiting to mention this on the show because I wanted to get your opinion on this. You're a smart guy, so you can make it make sense. The opening ceremonies for the Winter Games are tomorrow in Italy, yet today is day 2 of the Olympics. When did the Olympics go to week 0 schedule? Please make it make sense.
That's a good point. Maybe the same people running college football are running the winter games. Maybe we get the people that run the winter games to be in control of the portal at NIL. That would be a nice crossover. Yeah, I don't know. I have no answers for that. There's a Georgia basketball SID by the name of Mike Mobley, who's been doing it for 30 years in Athens. And I know this is a South Carolina show, but Mike is just an outstanding guy and one of the best to do a job that, as you know, especially you, Phil, I mean, you've seen all the turnover in sports information directors. They're not paid enough. They work terrible hours. And many of them are just quitting and leaving the profession. But he's been doing it at Georgia. He is over there. He works the Winter Olympics. So congratulations to him, Mr. Mobley.
That's awesome.
Very cool.
How would you like to be one of the staffers of the Washington Post over there on the day that they announced that there is no longer a Washington Post sports department?
Oh, gosh. Yeah, I don't know if you know this. There's no more written copy of the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
That's right.
It's all online.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, this is a top 7 market, and we can't even get a written newspaper.
Yeah.
So we've gone a long way from the days of Gillespie, Scoppy, Berger. It's a shame too because
Dan Foster and I'm thinking about who else? Oh, Gene Sapakoff. So many great writers. Yeah, so many.
Well,
great
Sapakoff
writers.
still writes, doesn't he?
No, he retired. He retired a few years
ago. Oh, he
ago.
retired. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Well, there you go. I can't keep up with.
He's doing community work over there in Augusta, I believe. He's working in the community, trying to make for a better world out there.
Well, we could certainly use one.
Yes. All right, let's get to the hoops. Where were you since the last time we talked to you? What have you done?
Where was I? I was in Athens for Georgia, Texas A&M. That was in the middle of a snowstorm, Snowmageddon.
Mm-hmm.
So I drove I-85 from Atlanta to 316 to Athens, and there was snow and ice on the ground. But Phil, I'm a warrior.
Yes.
I did the drive anyway. ESPN was kind enough to offer some extra time in the hotel to avoid the treacherous conditions. I was forced to fill out a will and testament, but I did drive, and I did make it back home safely and soundly. I think the last time I also had a game at Auburn since I spoke to you. They defeated Texas. And then now I'm doing a back-to-back Big Ten bonanza.
Oh.
But a little break from the SEC before I get back into that. Next Tuesday I'll be in Knoxville and in Baton Rouge. But I've never done a game at either one of these places in any sport. So this is groundbreaking for me. I've got Wisconsin and Indiana. Never been to Bloomington. So this is a bucket list arena to do a game. Both teams are good. Both teams will be in the tournament. And then Ohio State, Michigan in Columbus. Michigan right now, the number 2 team in the country. And I think if anybody could break this awful cold snap that is the Big Ten winning a national championship, it would be this year's Michigan squad. Do you remember the last time a Big Ten team won the title? I'll throw it out to the whole panel there.
Yeah, let's see. The last time a Big Ten team won the basketball national championship.
Get off your phones. No Google.
No, I don't do
Google.
that. I don't cheat. Give me 10 seconds. Give me 10 seconds.
All right. I don't want the plumber chiming in. It's got to be on the up and up.
I'm going to say
you guys are on YouTube, so you can't cheat.
I'm going to say, let me think now, the last Big Ten team, would it be Michigan State?
Yeah, it's got to be Michigan State.
Michigan State, do you remember the year?
It would be after Magic, because they won it after Magic.
Well, yes.
That was 79. They won it again. That would have been I can't think of the year.
All right.
How about you?
I was going to give
you, Bergie?
No, I'm stumped on a year. I was positive it was Michigan State and Izzo.
This was for a gift certificate to D's Wings and a brand new car from JT's Kia in either Columbia or Rock Hill. But unfortunately, I can't give away the prize. The year was 2000.
Wow.
So 26 years ago. That's the last time a Big Ten team won a national championship. That, to me, is one of the most amazing stats or droughts in all of college athletics.
I agree. That's that's about as mind-boggling as the SEC drought in the college football national championship.
Well, that would be 3 years, not quite 26, but yes, they're both surprising.
I mean, most SEC fans, they count years by 7 like they're dogs, so that's like 21 years to them in real. You
are really becoming an hostile SEC. You hate Sankey, you hate the league, you hate the people, you hate babies and puppies. You hate a lot of things here today.
I hate the announcers.
You hate the announcers? Yes. I'm surprised I'm even allowed on this show.
Mike, Phil would never forgive Greg Sankey for canceling the Carolina Clemson game.
Never.
That
oh,
was the end of it right there.
Yeah.
Never.
You've got to turn the page.
But he today came out and said that you got to let the NCAA, with this Alabama case, you got to go by the NCAA rules, and the courts cannot, not that he can tell the courts what to do, but the courts should not be granting eligibility to the big guy at Alabama that came in from the NBA.
Bediako.
Yeah.
Came in from the G League.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. He's come out today and said that the NCAA rule should be enforced in that case. So he's coming out against one of his own teams.
I have not seen that quote, but that is very interesting because, the toothpaste is out of the tube, right? He's already played. So I don't think anything's going to be done. Like, I don't think the kid's all of a sudden going to stop playing.
Here it is right here. Let me read this to you.
Yeah.
In a groundbreaking
Sure.
affidavit, SEC Commissioner Greg Sankey urges a court to uphold NCAA eligibility standards and prevent Charles Bediako from playing, citing policies that are essential to the integrity of college sports.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. That's pretty strong. We'll see if the NCAA does anything about it. I don't know.
Mike, couldn't Greg Sankey do something about this as a commissioner of the league that Alabama is a member of?
Well, he doesn't want to get sued. I mean, right now it's the NCAA getting taken to court. He doesn't want himself or the NCAA or the SEC to be dragged into that, does he?
Yeah, it's a great. I mean, these are great legal questions that unfortunately I don't have the answer for because, well, like you said, I mean, they clearly have lawyered up and are prepared. They knew there would be resistance to this, right? They didn't think this was going to be done, and the kid was going to play, and there'd be no, blowback. And Scott Drew started this thing at Baylor, and it's just continued to trickle down to other programs. So I really don't know how that's going to wind up. I truly have no idea. I don't know what rules mean anymore. It still feels like a rudderless ship. So I just don't know.
Yeah, I foresee the day where at the University of Kentucky during a basketball game, a loyalist judge will be sitting at half court, taking up a spot that once belonged to a writer who now has to sit up in the rafters. But he'll be sitting there along the court, and he'll be there when the star player for Kentucky fouls out with 12 minutes to go in the game. He'll be there to issue an injunction which allows that star player to remain on the court because it damages his earnings, his potential earnings, by having to sit on the bench. So he's there to grant an immediate injunction, overruling the officials and putting that young man back on the court so he can earn money for his people.
I like that. If we could just do that for the kids that are suspended for a half due to a targeting penalty in football, if we could do that first, I'd be happy.
Things I think
that's
about.
The real injustice here.
Yes, things I think about with the craziness. What about Alabama taking down A&M? I think that was last night, wasn't it?
Yeah, 100-97.
Yeah. That's a program. It's an NBA score for a team with an NBA guy.
Yeah, again, he still hasn't played in the NBA.
Well, but he was drafted and all that kind of stuff. He's an NBA guy.
Okay. I think I'm going to go. I'm going to go back to my default on just what a great job Bucky McMillan has done at A&M with a roster that, historically speaking, could have been in last place instead of first place. They lost by 3 on the road at Alabama, and so I look at that as if there is such a thing as a good loss, that's it. You scored 97 points and lost by 3 on the home court of a top 25 team in Alabama. That to me is the bigger story, not Alabama winning it, but the fact that A&M continues to do what they're doing.
And Gamecocks went on the road and put up a great effort. Went out at Texas. Texas is a good team. They don't have a sterling record, but their net's very good. And South Carolina was in that game all the way the other night, Mike. And they just don't have – well, they've come up short in about a half dozen games where they could have won. So finding a way to finish is their biggest task, but they just don't have enough complementary players to go along with Michie Johnson, who's having – I mean, he won't make an all-SEC team, I don't guess, but he's having that kind of year. He's playing at a very high level right now.
Ordinarily streaky, playing much more consistent, just not enough around him. I mean, the analysis of this team, it doesn't take a lot of time. There's just not enough there. And they play hard, and I think for the most part they're well coached, but I've seen every team up close and personal, and I look at one team's starting five, the rotation of 8, 9, 10 guys, and I don't see where Carolina has an edge.
Have you ever seen an SEC team? It's always a tough question when somebody says, have you ever? But have you ever seen an SEC team with as poor an inside collection of so-called bigs as this South Carolina team? Just when they put this roster together, I don't know exactly what they were thinking that they could get by with, or maybe they thought the guys that they signed were going to be good inside players, but they put this roster together really without any quality inside players to again. And you're playing in one of the most physical leagues in college basketball, are you not?
Yeah. You are, and yeah, I mean, again, some people get excited when they see 7 feet on a media guide roster or on a program roster. You have 2 7-footers. That doesn't mean they're quality post players. There's a big difference. And, if you look at some of the best post guys, well, heck, there's one playing in the NBA right now for the Denver Nuggets who is 6'7", and Colin Murray Boyles. You go back to, I go back to Orlando Howell at 6'9". There's been how tall was Silva for Frank Martin's teams, including the one that went to the Final Four.
Oh, Mike. I hope you got your wallet on you. Murray Boyles plays for the Raptors, not the Nuggets. Continue.
I'm sorry. Yep, that's my bad.
That's $1.
My bad.
That's $1.
I don't know if that earned a siren, but thank you for that.
Factual mistake. Get the
I had a point there, but now it's pretty much all moot, and I'll just stop talking and let you go to the next question.
No, go ahead. You're on a roll.
The point is that bigger is not better. Better is better,
yeah.
and right now, night in, night out, they're playing at a disadvantage in the post and down low, and that's okay if you've got just elite guard play. I've seen small teams. Well, I just talked about A&M. Their tallest player is 6'8", but their tallest player in Rashawn Agee would be a double-double machine against Carolina right now. You can win if you have elite guards, but Michi is good at times. He doesn't have a ton of help in the backcourt, and then it's tough sledding in the front court. So it's something that's going to have to be clearly addressed. Everybody knows this, so this is just stating the obvious. They have to just crush it in the portal this offseason. Have to.
Which means, it's all about the money. And, and the fans and everybody on the outside will say, well, you got to spend more money. You got to spend more money. Well, how much money does it take? Really, how much money is a place like South Carolina going to spend on men's basketball to be good?
I don't know. They spend a lot on women's basketball. It's if you want to win, you do what every other SEC school does, right? You spend the money.
Well, but at the very top, you've got Kentucky spending reportedly $22 million, and you come on down the list, and I think Auburn is like $11 million, and Alabama spending, I don't know how many million they're spending, but not everybody's got the capability of coming up with that kind of money. They don't have that kind of resource. I listened to Kelvin Sampson at Houston after his game last night. All right, he's got one of the best programs in the country. You think he was you think he was just crying poor mouth?
I think Kelvin's crying poor a little bit there. They spend money at Houston. I know what his point is. And his point is they don't have the money of some other schools in that conference. You knew that when you took the job. You can always go somewhere else if it's that bad. Somebody would hire up Kelvin Sampson in a hurry. So, but for the most part, again, let's just keep it within the league. I don't know what all the numbers are on these schools. I just know the type of talent that they're bringing in. And it's not just Kentucky, and it's not just Florida, and it's not just Alabama. It's programs in the middle of the pack. It's Missouri, right? It's Georgia.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia all of a sudden is spending a lot more money on college basketball players. So, I mean, we're in a new landscape. And look, Gamecock fans got tired of hearing this before there was NIL and watching other teams recruit better. And then what was the response from Fogler and Odom and others? Well, we don't cheat. We want a clean program here. So the implication being everybody with more talent was spending money on players while they weren't. Okay, well now, let's just say that's true. Everything is 100% legal about paying players. And if you're in the SEC, you're expected to do it. So the other thing that I was talking to a executive of another SEC school not long ago, what all these athletic departments have to decide, there's a certain amount of money that comes into the coffers, TV money, donations, NIL, what have you. You have to decide how much you're going to spend on every particular sport. It's pretty clear to me Gamecock football is spending money. I mean, your starting quarterback is making $4 million. You kept Thompson. You kept
Stewart.
Nick Harbor. Dylan Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
You kept Nick Harbor. They got other quality players in the portal. So, I mean, I think clearly there is the motivation to spend it on football. Women's basketball certainly gets whatever it wants. So I think the question is, where is men's basketball in the equation? And where do they stack up against the other 15 teams within the conference? I don't have all the answers to that, but I guarantee you that question is being asked.
Well, from what I've heard, Jeremiah Donati has said he'll give basketball whatever it needs to be successful. Hey, we thank you. Have a great week. Have a good trip where you're headed, and we'll talk to you next week.
Okay, guys. Be well.
Top of the hour. Be back.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The 74th National Prayer Breakfast with bipartisan members of Congress, faith leaders, and guests met for a time of prayer, reflection, and unity in the Kennedy Caucus Room at the U.S. Capitol today. Co-host Senator Roger Marshall offered these opening remarks.
It reminds us that as we seek compromise and consensus, that our exercise of leadership, whether here in this country or around the globe, is more than just an exercise of policy or power. It is service, it is character, and it is conscience.
The breakfast was started by President Eisenhower in the 1950s. American brokered talks between Russian and Ukrainian officials are being held in Abu Dhabi for a second day, aimed toward ending the nearly 4-year war.
The discussions come amid increased Russian attacks on Ukraine's power grid and after a rise in civilian casualties. Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky urged for an end to the war and emphasized the need for security guarantees to prevent future Russian attacks. U.S. Special Envoy Steve Witkoff and President Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner, as well as NATO Commander General Alexis Grinkovich, are at the talks. Fighting continues alongside the talks with Russia targeting Ukraine's electricity network. Almost 15,000 Ukrainian civilians have been killed since the start of the war through last December, according to the United Nations. I'm Karen Shamas.
Iran and the United States are set for talks Friday in Oman over Tehran's nuclear program. This comes after Israel launched a 12-day war on Iran in June and Iran's brutal crackdown on nationwide protests. Down day on Wall Street with the Dow dropping 592 points, the S&P lower by 84. More at townhall.com.
The following is a real-life story from Trinity Debt Management.
I had a lot of credit card debt, and it stressed me out. But what I thought was a solution turned out to be a problem. I kept hearing ads about debt settlement that seemed too good to be true. And actually, it was. When I called, they told me to stop paying my bills. That didn't sound right to me at all, so I hung up. Later, I found out that debt settlement is bad. Real bad. Then I learned that there is a right way to pay off your credit cards. It's called a debt management program from the great team at Trinity. Trinity had a plan. In the end, I paid off my bills, I saved thousands, and I even improved my credit score.
If credit card debt has you down, call Trinity at 1-800-990-6976.
My name is Heather. Please forget debt settlement and remember Trinity Debt Management.
1-800-990-6976.
OpenAI and Anthropic, the startups behind ChatGPT and Claude, are gearing up for a major showdown. Bob Agnew reports.
The rivalry began when OpenAI leaders left to form Anthropic in 2021. Both now need to prove they can turn a profit. Anthropic is airing Super Bowl ads mocking OpenAI for introducing ads on ChatGPT. OpenAI CEO Sam Altman called the ads funny, but said they're also dishonest. Their main battleground now is winning over corporate leaders who want AI tools to boost productivity. They also face competition from Google, Amazon, and Microsoft. Bob Agnew reporting.
Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent says it would be up to the president to decide whether to sue Kevin Warsh, Donald Trump's nominee for Federal Reserve Chair, if he doesn't lower interest rates. News and analysis at townhall.com. From Washington, I'm Keith Peters.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Clearing skies overnight. We'll have a low temperature, chilly 28 degrees. Tomorrow, wonderful. Mostly sunshine-filled skies, high temperature reaching 57. Now for the weekend, very, very nice. Clear skies, sunshine to go with highs in the low to mid-50s. And next week looks wonderful. A return to the mid-60s and more sunshine. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.
This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com. The Point.
Too tough to tame? Try too rough to ride. Nothing about this place lets you sit back. It rips up your tires and tears at your heart. Let's go! History, glory, consequences. That's Darlington, where stripes are well earned. The Goodyear 400. NASCAR's best face the lady in black. And this spring, how about that? She'll leave her mark. Hell yeah, boys! NASCAR weekend at Darlington Raceway, March 20th through the 22nd. Get your tickets now at darlingtonraceway.com.
Welcome back to Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network. You can reach the guys with the South Carolina Education Lottery lucky number, 888-898-2525. That's 888-898-2525. Now back to Phil and Chris with the second hour of Sports Talk on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Okay, we're back. It's a big Thursday night edition. Sports Talk Media Network. Phil Kornblut and the Plumber here in Columbia. And Chris Bergen from the Berge Palace over in Sardis. Clemson women leading North Carolina. Man, I tell you, we're going to have to start paying attention to the Clemson women. They're up on North Carolina in Chapel Dump, 32-29. South Carolina women leading Mississippi State. Remember when this used to be a close rivalry? Gamecocks are up 30-19 on the Bulldogs. North Carolina A&T in men's play leading College of Charleston now 5-2 early in that game in Charleston. So we continue to talk basketball, but not just basketball. Right now here on Sports Talk, we do the deepest dive.
Hardcore Hardwood with Ken Potosnak on Sports Talk.
And we welcome in longtime coach Ken Potosnak to Sports Talk once again. Coach, great to have you with us. You ever wanted to coach women's basketball?
Other than doing the 5-star women's camp for a number of years with Coach O, that was probably about the most I've ever done on that end of it. But enjoyable.
Yeah.
They listen. The women listen really good, and they're really, really coachable. A little bit different than the guys.
I was going to say, well, the guys think they know it all, right? And the ladies are still, a lot of them are still learning.
I think there's a lot of talented, really skillful women players who just, I think the mindset overall is to take the coaching a little bit better. And but it was always interesting. We would do that each summer, and it was a little bit different than coaching the guys, actually.
Yeah. Let's talk about Clemson last night. I don't know if you stayed up late to watch them, but that's a heck of a win for them. Stanford's not a bad club, and it's on the road. It's an ACC game, keeps them second in the league behind Duke, and they did it. Brad Brownell probably slept well last night, held a team to low 60s in points. Had the ball was moving crisply on his side. They didn't shoot it particularly well, but 9 of 10 guys who played scored. That's the kind of ball that he really likes.
Well, I hope he's sleeping well, because he has put together a true team. And when you take into consideration a few things, when you go out west, a 3-hour time difference, and I don't know what day Clemson left. It probably left on Monday. It's a considerable thing with the players in adjusting, and to go out there, and we always talk about defense traveling. Well, it traveled again, and they held Stanford to 64 points. Stanford does have some injuries, but Stanford laid 95 on North Carolina when North Carolina made their trek out there to play Cal and Stanford. So to come out of it 66-64 win, we've been talking about it over the course of the last month. If Clemson gets to 70, they're going to continue to win a lot of games, because their defense, not talked about nationally. They don't have the big name. They don't have $5 million or $4 million to pay a player. Heck, they probably don't even have that amount of money to pay their entire team. But when you talk about a team sitting at 19-4 and moving in the direction of getting a double bye and vying for the ACC title, it's a really, really special thing happening in Clemson.
Yeah, we're just talking to Mike Morgan about the financial side of building these rosters, and the answer is going to be among the fans, of course, when things aren't going well for their team. We'll just go buy better players. Just go spend the money and buy better players. And, I mean, if everybody's spending money, how do you expect the non-blue bloods to outspend the blue bloods, who not only have the advantage of having, big money and big donors, but they also have the advantage of being a blue blood and naturally attract the best players to begin with, and they're kind of battling amongst themselves for the elite, and then everybody else is going after what else is left in the pool, and you try to get what you can acquire. But, I mean, how much, for a non-blue blood program, how much should you expect to spend annually to put together a competitive roster?
Well, there is no salary cap, and I think we alluded to it last week. Until there's a salary cap, until there's some level of transparency on what is being spent, it's just not going to be the revenue share percentage that the athletic department's going to give men's basketball or women's basketball or football. If Clemson's getting a 20% rev share right now and has between $4 and $5 million for a roster, heck, they played BYU, AJ DeMonsta, earlier this year. He got more than that, most likely, for 1 year at BYU himself.
Mm-hmm.
So when you lose 66-64 in the Garden, and it was a really tough loss because they were up 20 points, but they showed what they had and continued to develop offensively. I just keep saying it, unless there's transparency in what everybody's spending, so that everybody knows. I saw an article today, Phil, that came out. They were giving Coach of the Year candidates. And it's really laughable to see some of the typical blue bloods who are probably have between $15 and $20 million in a roster, as Coach of the Year candidates. I think you got to look really, really hard at some of these guys, like a Brad Brunell, who, if it was transparent and everybody knew how much was really being spent, I think Clemson has done as good a job as anybody in the country. As of today, things can change, but that defense and that team play is not changing for him and his team.
You look at that Clemson roster, there's probably not what you would consider a superstar player or even a high-star player on that roster. I mean, he's got a bunch of good players. What he's done is he's brought in a group that has bought in. For some reason, these individuals have bought in as one, as if they were recruited out of high school and were developed in this particular program and learned the way over 2 or 3 years. And as they got older, they took over the program and continued to follow what had been laid down in front of them before them. But that's not the case. I mean, he got, I think it's 9 newcomers in this program, but these guys as individuals have all kind of come together like you hardly ever see. And their sharing of the basketball is very impressive. Their unselfishness is very impressive. And the end result is, even though the bracketology, like CBSSports.com just came out with their latest bracketology, they have Clemson an 8 seed. I mean, don't you think they're better than an 8 seed?
Well, they're going to be a tough out no matter who they play, and I will tell you, they may have one guy, maybe a second guy that makes a third team All ACC, but you already know the All ACC guys coming from Duke, coming from North Carolina, coming from Louisville. I mean, there is some terrific high draft picks that are super talented, highly paid players. But, the special thing, and, it is called coaching, and the definition of coaching is what you're seeing at Clemson. And I think the other part of it, Phil, is if you look at their staff, their staff, I mean, they must have 150 years of basketball experience on the staff. And they don't have 17 guys jumping around on the sidelines. They've got guys who know how to evaluate. They've got guys to, know how to pick players. And look, it doesn't always work out perfectly.
Right.
But they have assembled, and the people in Clemson should be super appreciative. They have assembled a group of guys that play together, are getting better offensively, but that defense without a 7-foot NBA rim protector, they don't block shots at a high rate, but they play defense in the half court as well as anybody in the country. And whether they're an 8 seed or whether they're a 6 seed or whether they could somehow become a 5th seed, whoever they play in the NCAA tournament, that team is going to they're going to have to really, really prepare to find a way to score against their defense.
I would say the only negative part to the whole deal is most of these players, unless they get an injunction or something, they're there for 1 year. I mean, Godfrey's gone. Now, he's been there longer than 1 year, but he was gone. He came back. So this is his last year. He's a senior. Porter's a grad student, so he'll be gone. Dylan Hunter is a senior. He'll be gone. Butta Johnson's a senior. He'll be gone. Wallene is a junior, so he could come back. Nick Davidson is a redshirt senior, so he would be gone. So, and Carter Welling is a junior. So you could have Welling back. You could have Wallene back of the guys that you brought in, but the rest of them will be gone. So you have to kind of, as a coach, and they do have some younger guys who'll be back. Ace Buckner should be back, assuming these guys come back, and they're redshirting a couple of guys. Zach Foster coming off the injury should be back. Chase Thompson looked good last night. He'll be back.
Zach Foster is going to be an outstanding player.
So my point is that you got to go out and do it again, like replenish every year. That's got to be tiresome from a head coaching standpoint.
Well, when you make $3, $4, $5 million a year, you should be tired. But that's what you're paid to do now. That's where it's at. But as I watch a lot of basketball, watch a lot of leagues. It's something really special is happening there. I hope their fans can see that and understand it. And but I will tell you this, just based on the staff, and I know the makeup of the staff and where those guys have been and how long they've done it. It's it can happen again next year too if the athletic department at all of these schools, not just Clemson, puts up a high enough rev share to make basketball important. I read an article today. Calvin Sampson was explaining that their $76 million budget at Houston is 1/3 the budget of what Texas's budget is. And, when you start breaking that down, and he was speaking about recruiting very, very closely as it relates to simply you want a better recruit, you have to have more rev share, you have to have more NIL money, because that's, he has top 10 recruits in high school. Kingston Fleming will be a top 10 draft pick. He's a freshman for him, but that costs money. I think what some schools have been able to do without a lot of money, and you see what Clemson has done. It's a really special thing to put that together as quickly as they have and play as consistently. And they've got a tough task coming up against Cal, to be out on the West Coast for 7 days, to have to go play at Cal in day 6 or 7 of a long road trip, staying in a hotel, all those things. If they can get a win at Cal and come home, to me it's going to be really interesting when they have to go to Duke and they have to go to Chapel Hill. Those are going to be interesting games. I think UNC and Duke will have their hands full. Although both those teams are more talented by far, they're going to have their hands full trying to score against Clemson's defense.
Yeah. What about South Carolina out at Texas the other night? I think disappointing defeat for the Gamecocks, of course, but you had to like the effort, and you had to like the fact that they were in that thing until the very end with a chance to win against a pretty good – I think Texas is a good team. I mean, they've got a big man who's really good. They got a terrific guard, or he's not a guard, I guess he's a small forward, Swain. They got a good team as well playing at home, and the Gamecocks had a chance to win. But that's been sort of their scenario all year long. Is they've had a chance to win, but they can't find that finishing kick to win some of these games.
I think they played really well, and they've had some great efforts. The Georgia game at home, at Auburn, at LSU. Look, they've had a number of nights that they've had really good efforts, and they weren't necessarily playing the absolute top of the SEC. Florida's a different monster in terms of their front court and what they're going to have to face there. And I know they go to Florida. Alabama is a really, really talented team. But once again, to me, it gets back to, as you build your roster, do you have the funding to build it correctly? And, can you somehow match up where you can be competitive, not only in the middle or, lower portions of the league like they've shown, but, when they step up and have to play the top of the league, whether it's at Texas A&M or, Florida at home or going to Florida soon, can they get those one or two players that can be difference makers. Amici Johnson played terrific last night. You've seen Elijah Strong play unbelievably at LSU. You've seen, some signs, but they're the type of team right now that they've got to have everybody on the same page, and they've got to defend a little bit better. They have a tendency to give up a lot of points some nights. They got to lock down defensively a little bit better, especially rebounding the basketball.
Yeah, I was going to say rebounding is still a big shortcoming for them. Before we let you go, got to give a shout-out to Winthrop. What's that winning streak, Bergie? What'd you say they are? Was it 4?
They won 9 in a row.
They won 9 in a row.
Lost their opener in the Big South and have not lost since.
And right now they're projected to win the Big South by the bracketologist and be like a 14 seed.
Well, Winthrop's been good for how many years now? 25 years, 25 years. They're sitting at 9-1, and some of the programs in the state that really had good starts haven't played as well as they've gotten into the league. I know Charleston Southern and Presbyterian and so forth. They're under 500 in the league, and they've showed at times this year that they can compete. Winthrop, though, that's a tough nut to crack there. 9-1, and they generally find a way to the top of the league every year.
Great talking to you. Have a great weekend watching the hoops. We'll catch up with you next week.
Appreciate
Thanks,
it, Coach.
Phil. Appreciate it. Bye. See you guys.
Thank you, Coach Kim Potosnak. Hardcore Hardwood here on Sports Talk. When we come back, a few comments from Brad Brownell about that win last night out at Stanford. You weren't up for that, Bergie. I was up to the bitter end.
I'm boycotting watching Atlantic Coast Conference basketball on the West Coast.
Yeah. I've always wanted – one of my favorite announcers is Roxy Bernstein because he always does the West Coast games. And him doing a Clemson game at Stanford was just cool. And we'll be back.
You've put in the work for your education. The extra early, extra late, extra work. That's because you understand education opens doors to better pay, better opportunities, and a better you. Being educated about playing the lottery is no different. It helps you be a better player, one who knows when to play and when to take a rain check. The lottery's a game, so let's keep it fun. Learn more at sceducationlottery.com/betteryou.
We're with Major Billy Downer of the Department of Natural Resources. Major Downer, let's say I'm out in the woods or I'm on the water and I need to reach a DNR agent. How do I do that?
Operation Game Thief, Phil. It's been around 30-plus years. You can call us at our 24-hour hotline any time of day, 1-800-922-5431. To report wildlife violations or to get help if you're in trouble in the woods or on the water, call us at Operation Game Thief, 1-800-922-5431.
Looking for a new car? You need to think about a Kia.
If you're in the market for an SUV, consider the new Kia Telluride or the new Kia Sorento. They're big, they're strong, and loaded with tech for thousands less than Honda or Toyota. You'll see the difference right away, and you get double the warranty. Plus, you get the JT's Advantage million-mile warranty and about 1,000 other things you have to see to believe.
If you want the biggest bang for your buck, it's time to think about a new JT's Kia.
We're serious about saving you money.
Just like in college basketball today, sometimes it's about who you bring in off the bench to provide that extra spark. At StraightUpSports.net, we're excited to announce the addition of Brett Friedlander, a longtime ACC insider columnist, to our all-star lineup that includes Bob Gillespie, Scott Kiefer, Mark Sturgis, and more. At StraightUpSports.net, it's always about the stories. Check out this all-star lineup at StraightUpSports.net or at Straight Up Sports on Facebook.
Hi, Phil Kornblut here with our good friend George Bryan III, heard every Friday night on Birdies, Bogeys, and Biceps right here on Sports Talk. George, the Tsunami Bar, a very valuable tool for golfers. Why is that?
Well, the first thing that I say is the tempo. It's the only tool out there that allows the study of tension right from the first grab to be expressed, and rhythm and tempo is what makes the bar work, and it gives you something awfully special to keep those hands soft and get that rhythm going.
Learn more about Tsunami Bar technology by clicking on the digital ad on our website, SportsTalkSC.com, and save 5% by purchasing online using the promo code BBB5. At the half, USC women leading Mississippi State 38-22. Edwards leading South Carolina with 13 points at the break. Clemson women trailing now at North Carolina in the fourth quarter, 43-39. And the College of Charleston men and North Carolina A&T men playing in Charleston tonight. And that score is 14-13 A&T. 14-13 A&T leading the College of Charleston. All right, Keith from Camden, waiting to join us here on Sports Talk, and we welcome you in, sir. How are you?
I'm doing great, Phil. How are you and Bergie T doing?
We are doing just fine.
What's up, Keith?
Great. Look, I know that just like high school recruiting and transfer portal, 5 stars, 4 stars, class rankings, all that is just hard to figure out. But I'm just curious what y'all's observation, opinion is of the overall Carolina transfer portal. I heard something today that was a little concerning. I know I've listened to other folks and through the Carolina University, they've talked it up. Beamer's talked it up, but I think they listed them 27th. What's your overall evaluation of what they have coming in?
Well, I would say that they addressed their major need, which was the offensive line. Now, how good these guys are remain to be seen. They've got some guys coming from some major programs. They got some guys coming from some lower-level programs that maybe have some room to grow and be developed. But offensive line, that was a complete makeover on their offensive line. And free agency-wise, they signed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 free agents on the offensive line, ranging from a player from UCF, a player from NC State, a player from Purdue, and then, of course, a player from East Carolina, then one from Ferris State, but that's only a 2-time Division II national champion. So, and he was one of their top offensive linemen, Dane Arnett. So, I mean, it looks good to me just looking at it here on paper, They brought in a quarterback to add a little depth there. They brought in 3 running backs. They only had 4 running backs in the program. They brought in 3. That gives them 7 running backs, so that's good. They added 5 on their defensive line, and they added a shutdown corner, Quashid Scott, who's probably going to come in day one, probably start for them in the secondary. We'll talk more about it in a moment.
On Point Weather, brought to you by our friends at Palmetto State Armory.
On 107 The Point.
Here's tonight's forecast. Clearing skies overnight. We'll have a low temperature, chilly 28 degrees. Tomorrow, wonderful. Mostly sunshine-filled skies, high temperature reaching 57. Now for the weekend, very, very nice. Clear skies, sunshine to go with highs in the low to mid-50s. And next week looks wonderful. A return to the mid-60s and more sunshine. I'm Cal Moss with your On Point local weather.
Nothing better than supporting local farmers and getting the best of the best when it comes to beef. Did you know H&J Cattle Company now is a store you could shop at directly? Yep, 2074 Bethany Schoolhouse Road in Saluda. Highest quality beef. A nice drive out to the country and great playground for the kids. You can even get an ATV tour of the farm. Even have local honey, tallow, elderberry syrup, and beautiful home decor items. Online, it's HandJCattle.com or find us on Facebook, H+J Cattle. Better yet, come around and see us. H&J Cattle Company.
On Wall Street. With SRN News, I'm Keith Peters in Washington. The U.S. and Russia have agreed to reestablish high-level military-to-military dialogue for the first time in more than 4 years. This step is another sign of warming relations between the two countries since President Trump took office and sought to end the war in Ukraine. Senate Majority Leader John Thune says Democrats' demands for new restrictions on federal immigration officers are unrealistic. And he's warning that the Department of Homeland Security will shut down next week if Democrats don't work with Republicans and the White House. Democrats are pressing for changes at U.S. Immigration and Customs Enforcement. On Wall Street, the Dow down by 592 points. The Nasdaq dropped 363. The S&P 500 lower by 84. More details at srnnews.com.
Nobody plans for a plumbing problem. They come unannounced and usually at a very inconvenient time. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is your trusted ally. They recognize just how vulnerable a customer is at this time, and they want to help. They have well-trained plumbers who are there to make a difference when you need it most. I've experienced this. They're knowledgeable about their craft. They're not coming to your house to pitch new products. If something is broken, they'll give you a price to fix it if it's possible, or a price to replace it if necessary. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning is also locally owned and operated, or I simply wouldn't endorse them. Josh and his team prioritize customer service above everything else. They handle every issue with care and precision. Those are not just words. I've had Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning out to my home. They back up those words with their actions. If you have a crisis, get some peace of mind. Online, you find them at franklinplumbing.sc.com or you call 799-2222. That's 799-2222. I'm absolutely positive they will make whatever is wrong right again. Franklin Plumbing and Drain Cleaning.
Hey y'all, this is Ted from Flight Deck Restaurant. We'd like to invite you and your family to dine with us. We have a great menu that's sure to please your whole family. We have fresh cooked burgers, big juicy wings, blue plate menu featuring country cooking, oven baked hoagies, fresh crisp salads, authentic Greek food like gyros, souvlaki, and baklava. We also carry 20 different premium cheesecakes and pies. Flight Deck Restaurant also has an arcade with 30 different games like Star Wars, Batman, Skee Ball, Bass Wheel, Pac-Man, Galaga, and so much more. Flight Deck, your favorite family restaurant. Thanks y'all and God bless.
Life's busy, but that shouldn't mean putting your car care on hold. At Team 1 Sudduth Automotive on Millwood Avenue, you can drop off your vehicle outside business hours and count on our certified technicians to do the rest. From oil changes to engine overhauls, we make it easy for you and your car. Enjoy nationwide warranty, top quality parts, and a team that really cares. You can even visit team1automotive.com and book an appointment at your convenience. Team 1 Sudduth Automotive, we fix everything. That's team1automotive.com.
If you're feeling the weight of the world, how about visiting Spa MD in West Columbia? Marcy and her team can provide that perfect massage for individuals or even a couple. Lainey's been several times. She comes home completely revitalized. For a gift, if you're in the doghouse, or just because you love her, check out their options at visitspamd.com or call 251-9400. Leave your stress behind because you know what? You deserve this getaway. Spa MD, 251-9400.
At Palmetto State Armory, we offer the largest selection of guns and ammunition at unbeatable prices. Our knowledgeable and friendly staff are here to provide personalized assistance, ensuring you find exactly what you need. If you enjoy outdoor activities like hunting, camping, or hiking, our clothing and outdoor gear collection has got you covered. We also feature an exceptional indoor range facility where you can experience the thrill of shooting in a safe and controlled environment. Visit us today at palmettostatearmory.com or your local retail store.
All right, welcome back, everybody. Just to finish up with Keith's question about those South Carolina free agent signees. Yeah, I think Quashid Scott, coming in from Kentucky, has got a real good chance to be a starter at corner. And then you got the Collins brothers coming in, Kelby and Drew, one defensive tackle, one defensive end. Kelby, of course, was a very heavily recruited player coming from Alabama. Has all the looks of a guy that's going to be able to help them. So, yeah, I think they help themselves in many different ways with this incoming group of free agents as they signed a total of 24 of them. So, they also added to their wide receiver room quite a bit as well. So, 24 total free agent signees by the Gamecocks. We appreciate the question on that. We've got recruiting coming up here in just a couple of moments. Leading us into that, we're going to welcome to the program one of the new signees for Clemson, and I think this is a great story. Looking forward to watching him with the Tigers. We welcome to Sports Talk out of Gainesville, Florida, home of Steve Spurrier and the Gators, but he's not a Gator, though he's got Gator blood, no doubt. Keel McGriff, wide receiver, who committed to and then signed with Clemson on Wednesday. And welcome in, Keel. How you doing?
I'm doing good. It's nice to be on.
Great to have you with us, and congratulations on signing with Clemson. Now, considering your family heritage, are you surprised you're going to Clemson and not to Florida?
No, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, it's great that I get to start my own journey and go somewhere else. I don't know. It's just it's all great. I didn't really care where it was.
So your situation, you missed all of your senior season with an ankle injury that you had the previous summer. I know you were trying to come back and play, and the ankle just didn't respond, I guess. So you missed all the season. That had to be tough for you. And when I looked at some of your numbers, my gosh, you did a little bit of everything for your team. So
yeah.
Tell us, what had you played your senior year, what would your recruiting have been like, you think?
So, I mean, for me, it was never really about like the numbers of schools that always were going to offer me. It was more just about what I wanted. So Clemson was always in the mix. It was Clemson, Florida, and Georgia. And so when I was not hurt and playing, they were going to come out the spring and watch me, and then I was going to go to camp at all three. And when I got hurt, I went up to Clemson, and they just said they were going to see my senior film and all that, and I never got to play, and they were the only one that stuck with me. So,
This was, I mean, usually you hear about players that visit. All the websites have the insider information, and they're writing about them, and we know who's going to be offered and all that. I have to admit, I mean, your name kind of came out of nowhere when it popped up as a offer and then a commitment. How did you keep it so quiet?
Yeah, I mean, I've known about this for a while, and I guess the only reason I could keep it quiet is because that's just not really what it's about for me. I don't really care about the notoriety. I don't really care about the stars. I don't care about any of the social media stuff. I just love to play football, and I knew once Coach Sweeney had talked to me and it was legit. I mean, that's all I needed to hear was just the logistics of it, and I could shut my mouth and keep it quiet.
Yeah, well, y'all did a great job. So for those who don't know, you played quarterback, 4,741 passing yards, 50 passing touchdowns, 1,193 rushing yards, 6 touchdowns. You played receiver, 787 receiving yards, 8 receiving touchdowns. You played in the secondary, 65 tackles, 4 interceptions, a punt return for a touchdown. You had a total of 6,421 combined yards of total offense in your career. And, of course, you missed your senior year. So were you a quarterback up until your junior year, and then they moved you to receiver? How did things evolve in your career?
Yeah. So my entire life, I mean, growing up in youth football, I played like half quarterback, half receiver, like my first year ever of tackle, and then flag, of course, before that. But my first year ever, I split. And then up until that was 4th grade. Up until that, I played quarterback my entire life, and then safety and corner, and actually a little bit of linebacker in middle school. And then when I got to high school, and just decided it was probably best for me to just stay at quarterback, and did that for 2 years. It was a lot of fun over at Newberry. And then like halfway through, we just probably decided I was going to be a receiver in college if I wanted to play in college. So we made the switch over to Buchholz, and it was great there.
Yeah. Well, you weren't a bad quarterback. You throw for, about 5,000 yards. You must have been pretty good at quarterback.
Yeah. I could throw it a little bit.
Yeah. So in talking with Coach Sweeney, what kind of plan did they show you for you that they have in mind? How do they plan to use you?
Yeah, I mean, they just talked about probably more of the inside role, probably more of a slot role, obviously punt returning. I don't want to say too much, but yeah, I mean, they just talked about just coming in as a guy that's just going to put his head down and work and just be happy to play football and eventually get on the field.
How many times did you visit Clemson?
So I went up 3 times during the season. I went to the LSU game, the SMU game, and the FSU game, and it was all good. And then one time before that in the summer, and then of course the official visit.
Yeah, wow. I don't think I ever saw your name pop up. You must have gone incognito or something.
Yeah. Coach Sweeney wanted to keep it pretty quiet.
Yeah, y'all did a great job. Talking with Keel McGriff, and so having a dad who was an All-American at Florida and a grandfather who was a terrific player at Florida and also on the broadcast crew at Florida, What did you learn in particular from your dad? What did you take away from him with your football skills? How much of what he did well is sort of something you emulated?
Yeah, I mean, he was obviously a great player, and I think the biggest thing that he just instilled in me is just, you know, to have a love for the game and just to work hard and just appreciate playing. You know, he also just talks about being yourself. You know what I mean? And he was a great player. My grandfather was a great player, but they were themselves, and I just got to be me and just go through my journey. And of course, they're along for the way, and they help a ton of wisdom. But yeah, I mean, they're just supporting, but it's awesome.
Yeah. So when you're talking to your dad and your granddad, and you said to them, hey, you know, you guys are great as Gators, but I want to go to Clemson. Was there much resistance? Did they say, you know, hey, let's take a closer look at Florida for all the logical reasons? Or did they just say, hey, go make your own path?
No, there was none of that. They just said, go make your own path. And they just both told me, you know, my grandfather, he was a walk-on. He didn't have any other options. So he went to Florida because he had to. And, you know, he ended up being a great player just because he was a great player. But he didn't choose to go to Florida other than because he had to. And then my dad went just because it was the best option for him. And he did it, and he was great. And right now, I mean, the best option for me and the clear option for me is Clemson, and it's where I'm supposed to be, and they support it. And, yeah, they're super happy.
Well, that's fantastic. When do you enroll in school?
I enroll in school June 28th.
So you'll be there to kind of go through the second phase of summer drills.
Yeah, second phase of summer, yes, sir.
Yeah. Well, hey, congratulations once again. I think it's a great story, and I love when things like this just kind of pop up, and we're like, whoa, where'd this come from? And leave it to Sweeney to keep it under wraps and keep it away from all the vultures out there looking for the information. That's pretty cool. And
yes, sir.
I think you're going to have a great career with the Tigers. How's the ankle? Is everything now back 100%?
Oh yeah, it's good. I've been working now for a while. I'm running pretty good now, and it's healing along really nicely. It's nice and strong.
I know you're anxious to get back on the football field.
Yes, sir.
Well, thank you for joining us, and have a great rest of the week and weekend. And we'll see you when you get up to Clemson.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Thank you for the time. Keel McGriff signing with Clemson on Wednesday, and that was a big surprise for those of us who follow the recruiting scene, because I hadn't seen anything about him and didn't see on any of the other websites out there that there was anything about him being involved with Clemson. I think they got a real steal there because of his overall talent, and we'll be back.
If you missed the home equity line of credit offer from Founders Federal Credit Union, we have good news. The offer has been extended, but don't wait. You only have until February 28th to get up to $750 toward closing costs when you open a Founders HELOC. That's more in your pocket for home improvements, debt consolidation, major purchases, unexpected expenses, or a much-needed vacation. The possibilities are endless. Imagine starting a new year with financial flexibility and peace of mind. But hurry, this special offer ends February 28th. Save more and jumpstart your year. Plus, you'll enjoy competitive rates and flexible terms designed to fit your budget. Visit foundersfcu.com/HELOC for more information. Membership qualification required. Institution NMLS. Identifier number 410646. Equal housing lender. See website for details.
Make your plans now to get to the coast for the Palmetto State's premier baseball showcase. The Classic, March 5th through 8th at Mike Johnson Park in Georgetown. Now in its 36th year, the Classic features the best high school players and teams from across South Carolina. Don't miss your chance to see the state's top Major League Baseball prospects and title contenders at the Classic. Presented by Coastal Chevrolet Cadillac Nissan. There'll be games and contests, including a home run derby throughout the weekend. Visit theclassicgtown.com for tickets and more information. The Classic, showcasing South Carolina's finest in high school baseball, March 5th through the 8th in the state's best ballpark, Mike Johnson Park in Georgetown.
Play ball! The lottery is not about getting rich. It's about helping people, and it always has been. The lottery is what helped raise the Great Wall of China, build the roads of Rome, and today in South Carolina, it's what generates millions of dollars each year for scholarships like the SC Hope, Life, and Palmetto Fellows. The South Carolina Education Lottery is investing in you. Visit sceducationlottery.com/betteryou to learn more.
The Sports Talk Recruiting Report is sponsored by Seawell's Catering.
Okay, recruiting, more recruiting here on Sports Talk. Just heard from Keel McGriff. He was excellent. If you missed that interview, it'll be up on our website later on tonight, SportsTalkSC.com. Tomorrow is a roast beef Friday at Seawell's, along with
chicken tenders
and
barbecue glazed
right
pork chops,
and
mouth-watering fried catfish nuggets
and
banana pudding
and
iced tea
and
water
and I said and.
Okay, fresh vegetables.
Quick and. Yeah. Salad dressing.
Best Italian salad dressing on the planet.
Outstanding.
Breads, too.
Make sure you get there. Make sure you get there for Seawell's tomorrow. It's a roast beef. It's an RBF like you've never experienced before.
It's an MW RBF.
And if you're lucky, the plumber might be there with his new sweetie.
Okay.
What's her name?
Ooh.
Yeah, he's got a girlfriend now,
Sally?
Bergie. Since you've been gone, he's got a girlfriend. Yes, indeed. Been on 2 dates, right? 2 dates so far?
Not sure where you made that up.
He's just now getting out of the batter's box. He hasn't made it to first base.
No, that's right.
Just out of the batter's box.
See, the thing is, you're just making things
Not
up.
quite
though.
getting to first base just yet. And for the very best in the catering business to handle all your important personal needs when it comes to catering, make sure you call Seawell's 803-771-7385. Make sure you get that number right, 803-771-7385.
Bergie,
online.
he was fined for giving the wrong number last night.
Online at SeawellsCateringSC.com. All right, other recruiting tonight. Running back Andrew Beard, 5'10", 198. And he's out of Bogart, Georgia. And Clemson, they kind of dallied with him for a while. C.J. Spiller finally got in there and offered him. Spiller visited Beard for a game, showing some strong interest. Still didn't offer. In late October, still had not offered, so he put out a 5 of Alabama, Georgia, Georgia Tech, Oklahoma, and Tennessee. Tigers continue to show interest in him, and of course they're also going after Trey Segura over at Burns. But then they finally did offer, and Beard said that it definitely made an impact on him. He's been high on Clemson for a while. It was hard to be excited about him without the offer, but now that he's got the offer, Clemson's very much in play for him. He'll be in for their junior day on March the 7th. South Carolina offensive line target Brady Hall, Pulaski, Kentucky, announced a commitment to Kentucky this afternoon. He had a long-standing relationship with the Gamecocks dating back to last summer when he was offered. Made several visits to Columbia for recruiting events and games. His sister played softball for the Gamecocks, but in the end, home state school, home state pool, new coaching staff, that won out. South Carolina offered wide receiver Chuck Alexander, 6'3", 190 of Cincinnati. He's been committed to Louisville since November. USC offered offensive lineman Bryson Hurt, 6'4", 305 out of Gainesville, Georgia. South Carolina target defensive tackle John Archer of Fayetteville, North Carolina, was offered by Texas. Benedict signees. Running back Jalen Sultan, transfer Arkansas Monticello. Quarterback Deron Benson, Covington, Georgia. Defensive back Deshaun Robinson, transfer Virginia Wise. Running back Amir Dindy from Westside. Wide receiver Jordan Hayward, transfer West Virginia Wesleyan. Defensive tackle Robert Wilkinson, transfer Johnson C. Smith. Defensive end Savion Terry, transfer St. Francis of PA. Offensive lineman Roy Farrow, Jacksonville, Florida. Linebacker Jaden Brown from Ridgeview. Wide receiver Ty J. Clark, Loganville, Georgia. Defensive back Ethan Nation, transfer Valdosta State and Nebraska. Defensive back Mackenzie Attenberry, transfer Fayetteville State. Defensive back LaCharles Woodruff, transfer Pikeville. Defensive lineman Joshua Hightower, transfer Barton. Defensive back Levi Manson, transfer Grandview University. Defensive back Cameron Smith, transfer the Citadel. Defensive lineman Emmanuel Fanday, transfer Ellsworth Junior College, Iowa. Linebacker Kamari Cook, transfer St. Francis, PA. Wide receiver Demetrius McKelvey, Garden City Junior College in Kansas. Defensive tackle Keegan Dickerson from Pace, Florida. Quarterback Jet Petty, transfer from Florida A&M. Offensive lineman Stuart Goldman, Northeast Mississippi Junior College. Linebacker Jimmy Thomas, transfer Seton Hill University. Defensive back Javon Bowser, Locust Grove, Georgia. Offensive lineman Cedric Irvin, transfer Union College. Defensive end Aaron Adams of Midland Valley. Wide receiver Zachary Watkins, a transfer from Fayetteville State. And wide receiver TJ Hatch, a transfer from Belhaven University. Benedict signees to this point. That'll do it for recruiting tonight right here on Sports Talk. Let's jump to Clemson basketball coach Brad Brownell. A little jumpy himself last night after the Tigers got a very nice, very close, very tight road win at Stanford. I think the largest lead either way in that game was 7 points. So the game was never out of reach for either team, and he loved the way his guys played. He loved the way his guys fought, and he loved the way his guys hung in for the victory.
Really proud of our guys for finding a way to win this game. Thought both teams played extremely hard. Stanford kids were aggressive. They got into us. I thought we did the same. Hard to score for both teams, disruptive defensively. Super proud of some of my guys off the bench. Chase Thompson had a huge game for him, his best game at Clemson. Been waiting for a game like that from him. Even Dallas Thomas made a three. Ace Buckner was huge down the stretch. Those are good young players for us that made important plays in this game. And then obviously Nick Davidson coming back to California. It was really happy for him. So just proud of our team. Hard-fought game against a very competitive, tough Stanford group.
Yeah, Coach, I want to ask you, obviously, going into the game against Stanford, you're obviously, pointing towards how can we stop, Buko, Corey, and Aiden Cameron, not to diss on him or anything, but, you're game planning a little bit less for a guy like that. So
yeah,
when he has, so many points, just what are you saying in the huddles? What are you saying at halftime to try to get a stop on it?
Yeah, I mean, obviously, he's still a good player. He played against us last year and had a decent game. I think he had 8 or 9 points last year. He's a good young player. But yeah, we obviously had 2 on the ball a lot, like several teams do to try to stop a Corey, and it's hard. And you're going to have to live with some other guys making some shots, getting opportunities. And, we certainly did that. You're just trying to reiterate confidence into your guys. There are times where we make mistakes and he made you pay, but then there's also some game plan times when you're probably giving some of those things up, and he was good enough to capitalize. You shake his hand on that.
All right, Coach. Speaking of Davidson, crucial free throws. After both teams were missing free throws,
Yeah.
Stanford 1-and-1s, and you guys missed the 2, which you want everybody to hear hamburgers, but it still was a situation where Davidson hit those clutch free throws, which almost was a game winner, but Corey making a late arranged it. But what do you think about winning a game on that type of
that's the kind of game it was. It was, I thought both teams guarded extremely hard. And it was hard to get good rhythm. It was hard to get really good shots. Both teams I thought were aggressive in trying to drive the ball and make plays. And so because of some of that, there's going to be some fouls and some free throws. And then the game, at the end of the game, comes down to that. And, fortunately for us, we put Nick in because we thought he's a guy who can make plays like that for us. And, we were just in a good situation where he got fouled and was able to make 2 big ones.
Just kind of thoughts on coming out here, what was for the first time in the ACC era for you guys? It was how's the trip been going? So
It's obviously my first time to Stanford. Think the world of the place. obviously what it stands for, and I think they're a great addition to our league. It's been a really good trip. We haven't had any issues travel-wise. Obviously, we're staying across the street. Weather's fantastic. Good hospitality here by the Stanford folks, as you would expect. And so, I thought we were as ready as you can be for these kinds of tough travels. They're not easy, but, obviously Stanford and Cal have to do it a bunch. And, but it's been good. It's a nice change. We have some West Coast kids. We have some kids from Utah and California on our team. So to be able to bring them here and have their families see them, and then we have some Clemson fans out this way, I think it's been really good for our group. It's been a good trip so far.
Coach, not to, look too ahead in the future, but you guys do go up to Berkeley this weekend, and what will be a pivotal game, obviously. They beat Georgia Tech today. So just how important is getting that win on Saturday? Yeah.
Cal's playing great basketball. Mark's done a good job up there. And, I haven't studied him much because I've been concentrating on Stanford, seen him a little bit because I saw the game here where they exploded offensively, and they've got a lot of guys that are sharing the ball, and they have some shot makers. Every game like this is important. These are, quad 1, quad 2 games that build your resume. So certainly they'll get our full attention first thing in the morning.
All right, Coach, it's absolutely a coincidence, but Super Bowl's going on out here. So even though you have to concentrate on your guys, do you have in the back of your mind about who you're going for?
No. I'm a Cincinnati Bengal fan, so when Joe Burrow got hurt, our season ended shortly thereafter. So no, I have not really followed the playoffs nearly as much this year as most years. I've been concentrating so much on our group that takes most of my attention.
All right, there you go. Brad Brownell. Tigers will take on Cal on Saturday. Meantime, over at the CLA Bergie, my goodness, the USC women put together in the third quarter, they put together a 30-6 quarter. 30-6.
That's incredible.
They lead 68-28. Those third quarter numbers, South Carolina was 10 of 14, that's 71%. Mississippi State was 2 of 14, that's 13%, 0 of 8 from 3. 6 turnovers. The Gamecocks turned into 7 points. Just obscene what they did to them in that
the Gamecocks took too many
quarter.
threes in the third, Phil. They were 1 of 3 from three-point range. Should have gone inside more often.
Clemson women lose to North Carolina 53-44. Charleston men leading A&T at the break 41-37. Thank you, Bergie.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Plumber. Say hello to the missus. And have a great night, everybody. We'll see you tomorrow.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
From the Bart Fireside Studio, the solution for keeping you warm this winter.